Hello and welcome to our next tutorial in our series of making our side scroller. And this will be a very short tutorial. It's got one focus, which is to create or to talk about this here, which is order in layer, and that's basically the order of the layers, the visible layers on screen. So I'm going to bring in my background layer here. It's a background base. I've clicked this button here and I've selected a very high resolution image and then applied it. If you don't do that, you'll end up with, we will see it for example here, so it says max size 2048. So I'll try these in and we'll have a look at this, but like I said, our main focus is on the order and layers. So I'm going to throw in my background now. So let's just take, so the camera is the child of the player, so I was going to take my Mac player here and move down and to about there. Now immediately we've got a problem. So there's my player and there's my background, and I cannot see my sprite anymore. The background, the base layer, has order and layer 0. So I'm very simply going to change this to 1, and now I can see my sprite. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in a cable layer. So these this ramp up to these sort of platforms. If I bring in this image here, this is meant to be the cables that hold from the ceiling these walkways. Now I don't know if that's obvious or not, but either way we'll assume that's easy to understand. Now what I want is, I want these to be, I'm going to set them to layer 2, which is one more than my character. So when the character comes up, it will walk on top of the background but behind these layers here. So top of the background but behind those layers. Okay, and finally we're going to bring in this one here, and again this is sort of a foreground layer that, and we should set to maybe 4. So this should be in front of everything. So again, if I go back to my player and I move along, the player should move behind these pipes in the game. Now, just while we're looking at these pipes, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Now, I'm going to select my sprite here and I'm going to click override, and I'm going to bring this up to 8000. Before I hit apply, I just want you to look at the edge of this, and we should get a finer edge. Basically it should look less blurred, so there's a finer edge, and if you look down here you can see it's in, you know, far greater detail. I might just leave it at that for now, but you can, that's just to illustrate the difference between allowing Unity to bring in large size sprites or smaller ones. Obviously what it's trying to do is it's trying to curtail you to smaller sprites because they take less RAM, and also if we're after Christmas, when we start working on Android machines, you'll find that a lot of tablets max out at 2048, so you can't actually load a texture on a phone or on a tablet that's bigger than that. So the procedure we're going through here, the method I'm looking at, isn't actually applicable. Okay, so let's zoom out and add a little bit to our layer. So I'm going to go back to my base layer here. I'm going to add a 2D edge collider I'm going to edit the edge collider. And move it to there. And then if we go all the way down to the end, we'll move that to there. Now, and I'll turn that off. Now you can have multiple edge colliders on a single sprite. So let's have a quick look at that. So I'm going to add another one to the edge collider. Now I'll zoom back out, and we're going to edit that one. Bring it to there, and bring this one to here. Let me zoom in. So we want that one there, and then we can add another vert in. And end that one there. Okay. So, and obviously if we are creating a walkway here and further back here, that we have you know, a way to maneuver. Now when I play this, my walking up here we haven't looked at how that's going to work. That's kind of a funky game. But we'll get on to how we do that in a moment, but or in the next tutorial. But for now, I suppose what I wanted to highlight in this one was this notion of layers, of the order of sprite layers, so that we have our background, we have our character, and then we have our foreground item. Okay, that's enough for now.